Hello everyone, welcome back to Code with Row. Today we're diving into Unreal Engine 5 to explore one of the coolest features, creating materials. Whether you're looking to add some color, make objects shine with a metallic finish, or even glow, I've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to support the channel, check out our Patreon link in the description below. Let's get started. Materials in Unreal Engine define how surfaces appear under different lighting conditions. They're crafted using the Material Editor, a powerful node-based interface. Today we'll create three simple but essential materials: basic color, metallic finish, and a glowing effect. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to our content folder, right click, and you're going to select the material option over here. And let's name this basic color. And now double click your material to open the editor. And you're going to have quite a few different options to create nodes. So if you hold 1 on your keyboard, the number 1, and left click, this is going to create a constant float node. And it's used to define a constant float value within the blueprint. And it's often used for calculations or as input parameters to functions. And if you hold 2 and click, this adds a constant vector node, which is a 3-component vector consisting of x, y, and z float values. And this is useful for operations that require vector data like setting positions or directions. If you hold 3, this is probably going to be your most commonly used one, and this creates a constant vector 4 node, which provides 4-component vector commonly used in operations requiring color data, so RGBA, or other 4-value parameters. And if you hold 4 and click, this results in a constant Boolean node, which allows you to define a true or false value, which is essential for controlling flow and logic-based operations within blueprints. So these shortcuts are designed to streamline the workflow in blueprints, allowing you to quickly add these common nodes without having to search through menus or node lists. So in this case, we're just going to work with our 3. So you hold 3 and click. If you want to add another one, you can. And now I'm just going to double click onto this square here that it's black at the moment. And you can select whatever you want. So by just mouse clicking and dragging it, it'll change the hue, the saturation, but not the value. And if you want to change your value or hue in certain other ways, then you can just drag the value on the right here, or use this drag and drop left to right. Saturation will be the S over here, or you can just drag and drop this bar that says saturation when you hover over it. And then you can select your RGB. So I'll do something like a light blue. Actually, I'll go with like a pastel red. So something like this. And I'll hit OK. And you can hit apply and save. And you're going to notice that my color actually hasn't applied yet. In our preview on the left, it's still a normal white looking ball. And what you're going to want to do is connect this node at the very top over to your base color. And now you'll see that the preview is showing the same color that we selected here. And when I hit apply and save and go back to my third person map, I can drag it. I can really apply it to anything I want. So I'll apply it to this cube, for example. I can either drag and drop over it to apply it. And there's our nice little pastel red coloring. Or I can click on this and I can just select the drop down under materials in the details tab while this is clicked in our outliner, and I can search for basic color, change it like that, and I can really apply this to anything I want. And you'll see that the glow from the sky is also bouncing the lights off, which is giving it a bit more of an luminescent red pastel glow on the whole field, which you can kind of see off the walls here. So I'll undo that and I'll leave these cubes. And it's simple as that, just to create a basic color. And now let's create a metallic material. I'll right click and repeat the process. I'll select material, and let's name this metallic finish. And I'll double click to open the blueprint editor. And in the material editor, we're going to set the metallic value to 1. So if you go over here and just select 1 and hit enter, you're going to see in the preview that you're going to get this really metallic-y looking object. And you can also change the value from here. So let me change this back to 0, and it looks very opaque. So I'll set this to 1. And I'll also change the roughness. So if I set this to 0, it's going to look very glossy like a mirror. And if I select it to 1, it's going to look a lot more rougher and solid. So I'll leave this at 1 for now, and I'll hit apply, and I'll just drag this material onto one of the cubes. And you're going to see it kind of really not that metallic-y, right? It's because our roughness is set to the max color. But it does look kind of dusty, and this could be a certain vibe of whatever game you're making. But if I were to change the roughness to 0 and hit apply, and save and go back, you're going to see that I can see the reflections of what's behind me. And it's going to have a very chrome finish. And what we can also do is also hold 3 on the keyboard and add a color. So I'll hold 3 and left click to open this constant 3 vector color. And I'll select a color something like a dark brown, because metallic colors often look best with darker or muted tones. I'll hit OK, and I'll fill in the base color. And now it's going to give it that old, I guess, cowboy-looking rustic glow. Yeah, right there is good. Kind of like a chocolate brown color. So when I hit OK and apply, and I go back to my third-person map, you'll see this nice brown-looking rustic or it just looks like a bronze block in this case. A really shiny bronze block. And now let's create a glow material. So same thing, I'll right click, create material, and let's call this one glowing effect. I'll double click to open the material editor. And now I'll hold 3 and left click to get that constant color back. And this time I'm going to be adjusting the emissive color. And this one will give your material a glow. So let's select something like, let's select a bright color to have it glow. I'll just something purplish. Yeah, something like this is good. And then I'll hit OK, and I'll connect this node directly to the emissive color. And now it's going to kind of look like this pink glowy. I'll do something a little darker maybe. I'll do something a lot more purple, more like a purple blue mix. And now that I've selected a color, I'll hit save, and I'll apply this glowing effect to this cube. And you can kind of see the glow reflecting off the walls here, but it's not glowing as much as I want it to. Even though it does look kind of nice, I want it to glow a bit more. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to multiply this by a constant node. So I'm just going to right click and look for constant, or you can hold 1 and left click on the keyboard. And now I'm going to add a multiply symbol. I'll actually connect this node to B, and I'll connect this node to A. And the value I'm going to keep at 0 because now you're going to see that this is not doing anything. And when I set the value to 1, it's going to be exactly like it was before. So this is basically going to determine how much intensity I can add to my emissiveness or my glow. So if I did something like 10, this is going to be very glowy. Now when I hit apply and go back to the map, this is going to look very, very bright. Probably a little intense, but for the tutorial, this is perfect. But let's say I wanted to do something like 2. Not glowy enough. Okay, I'll do something like 5. Yeah, so 5 is pretty good. So you can see how much light this is emitting, and it's pretty easy to manipulate the colors and the intensity just by adding a constant node. Yeah, and there you have it. 3 fundamental materials to get you started in Unreal Engine 5. Experiment with different colors and properties to see how they can transform your scenes. Thanks for watching Code with Ro. Don't forget to subscribe and check out our Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further. Catch you in the next tutorial, and happy creating.